Richard Kingsmill with you on the Australian Music Show on Triple J tonight. Noel and Tim from Vision 45 up next. Vision 45 there, and a big J hit from a few months ago now called Funkify Yourself. And I'm glad to say joining me tonight in the Triple J lounge room is, on the Australian Music Show, is Tim Grucci and Noel Burgess from Vision 45. Thanks for coming away, tearing yourself away from the TV set to come in tonight. I appreciate that.
That's fine.
Oh, the computer, was it, Tim?
That's where I was. Noel was in the TV room.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Not
okay.
for long, though.
Yeah. You've actually been working quite hard, you were saying, Noel, in the studio.
Yeah.
And at full-time work as well, juggling the two. How's it going?
Day job and studio work.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's getting there, sort of thing. Yeah. Mm.
You're remixing at the moment for Southend?
Yeah, doing their next single, which is called The Dream. Ben's co-producing it with them, and that's why he can't be here tonight, because he's actually in the studio at the moment. And then I'm doing a remix, so they're sort of concentrating more on 7 inches, so other people are doing the 12s.
Okay. Are they giving you much indication of what they want, or do they give it to you and say, create?
Pretty much. Do your thing. Mm.
Which is the way you like to do it? Or do you find that daunting?
Oh, no, it's good. It gives you that sort of freedom. It's really hard at first. You sort of think, oh, what can I can do so many things with this. And you think, give me some direction. But, you know, once you start on a direction that you like and they're happy with, then you just keep on going. It's fine.
So do you just find it sort of rolls as soon as you get that sound or maybe
Definitely.
that beat
once
that
you
you
get
want?
one little section happening, then it just all happens, all within a couple of hours.
Okay. In terms of Vision 45, it's always confused me exactly what is or who is Vision 45. Noel, are you basically the one that does all the music?
I write pretty much all of the music, and when it comes to producing it, Ben sort of comes in at the last stage and gives a fresh impression. A fresh impression of the music, and then helps out with the mixing. He does most of the mixing now, so I can sort of then take a step back and take on more of a producer's role, in inverted commas.
Ah, okay. Well, that's good for objectivity, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. It's working really well like that, yeah.
So, Tim?
Well, Vision 45 doesn't see itself just as a purely musical entity. We're very much involved in live moving screen visuals as part of our, live show. And essentially we're very involved with, working with the live act. So I'm involved in the whole visual production, interactive control. We use various interactive technologies on stage. And in due course, interactive products, CD-ROM, that sort of stuff. There's a whole lot of websites being developed, a whole lot of notions along those sorts of lines, video product, cut the clips. And of course, just as Noel has Ben, I have a couple of other people, particularly Alistair Ferguson, who work sort of with and beside me at different times in different ways, helping with that side of things.
Okay. It was actually quite interesting. I caught the Sydney launch for your album Humid. You've got the Melbourne launch happening next week. The details we'll give in just a moment. But when I caught the Sydney launch, it was quite amusing to actually see the interaction that was happening on stage. I was trying to figure out, now what's that guy actually doing on stage? It was kind of like he'd run over and do something and then fix something up, and then, Tim, you'd be pretty much right in the centre of the stage with, I guess, the dance routine, if you like to call it that.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of describing it. I mean, basically, I'm in the centre of the stage is the hot zone, the interactive zone that's been picked up by a video camera and transposed, digitised in real time through a computer and put up on the screens in a artificial environment. And from there, you can control things. So you can pull down virtual menus. And as I was doing, controlling the lights, moving lights for the first time, in fact, that night. More typically, controlling sound elements and visual real-time stuff. Controlling the lighting for the first time was fantastic. That was something Ben and I had been cooking up for nearly a year, and Ian Reid, who works with us a lot on the lighting side. We actually had him on stage for the first time, because that's sort of part of the notion of Vision 45 as well, is to, really present the technology. So to have mix the sound on stage, put the lighting desk on stage as well, as we did that night. I'd like to think it's interesting that you say, people you wondered what was going on and who was controlling what, because, we do actually desire to convey some of that to the audience, in the way we present it.
It's sort of like outlining what exactly is happening and then go and utilise those tools. Like, this is what we're using, this is how we're doing it, and then go and have fun with it after
Yeah,
that.
but of course doing it all in a really dynamic, live, fun way, as I think anyone who's seen one of our live shows will attest.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But I hate to bring you down somewhat, but I actually didn't pick up on the fact that, Tim, you were controlling the lighting.
Oh, really?
It didn't get
That's
through.
okay,
It didn't
Richard.
get through to me. So either I failed or you failed. I'll take the responsibility. But it was a great show. It worked really effectively, and the crowd, not a lot of them were actually focusing too much on the stage. They were just getting into it. They were just getting into their own sort of space and dancing.
I think at different stages you get a different focus. When the music picks up and it becomes a bit more overwhelming, then they'll get into the dancing, etc. And when it backs off a little bit, then we sort of shift the emphasis toward what's happening on the screens and the interaction. And you notice people will watch a bit more, and then they can see what's happening, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But the complexities of the dynamics of working with a live audience, particularly with dance music, and myself having worked a lot in visual production in dance parties rather than, say, live on stage as a band. It's a funny gap that you've got to bridge between, when people are dancing, it's a personal thing and you want to be, surrounded by lights and so on and sound and, having a good time unto yourself or, with the people just immediately around you. But as a live band, you're wanting to also take some of that focus and put it on stage. And over, say, a whole set, you've got to actually play with, between those two things. And that's something, that we're very conscious of and learning and developing all the time, I suppose.
How about your role, Tim, on stage? Do you ever get too self-conscious about what you're doing up there? Can you totally relax and dance? Because it's basically you on stage, and a lot of people are looking directly at you.
No, I love it. Although, part of the notion of Vision 452 is to involve other people, and, certainly, a really serious dancer would probably be a good addition to V45. Anyone out there?
Normally that sort of happens, actually. I remember New Year's Eve. Someone jumped up on the stage and danced the whole set, outdanced all of us.
Yeah.
Really?
And
Yeah.
Melbourne, big day out in Melbourne,
Yeah,
there was a
that's right.
dancer who got on stage, and it was really funny because it was, big day out and there was a lot of stage security and that sort of stuff. And this woman climbed up on stage and security were just about to pounce on her, and I went, no, back off, And,
This is art in the making.
yeah,
Leave it alone.
This woman just went wild for the whole set. It was absolutely fantastic.
Makes good camera footage.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
just
Did you pay her afterwards?
wild. No, we're gone. She's gone. Boom.
Oh, well. At least it was worth it for the moment. I'll give those details of the Melbourne show in just a moment, but let's hear a track from the Vision 45 Humid album. This is great. It's called Easter.